Hey guys, this is Tauna. Today we're going to go through the week 1 reveals summary. We're going to go through all the new revealed Final Fantasy cards. There's a lot to go through, lots of really amazing cards. I'm going to give some commentary along the way. This may be a longer video because there's lots to cover, but let me know if you prefer this or you'd prefer me to just go through the more noteworthy ones. Make sure you subscribe. I'm not going to talk about it later on, but make sure you subscribe, share video, etc, etc. Kind of, everything's been revealed up until now, and I'm doing this reveal as soon as it's done. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. So let's go through. First thing that was huge was revealed. It was all of the new precons. We got all of those videos up here that you guys can go check out. It has been a huge week here on my channel. I woke up, they were revealed at 5 a.m. I did videos non-stop for the next 3 hours to get these 4 big videos up, and then later on that day I also did the one of which one to buy. I'm going to be going through these ultimate guides for each of them, how to play it, how to win, themes, etc. as well. So let's go through the new revealed cards. We've got the Buster Sword here first up. I did a short on this one because, oh my god, it's busted. So it costs 3, 2 to equip. It's going to give the equipped creature +3/+2, and then when equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you can draw a card, and then you can cast a spell from your hand, any spell, so instant, sorcery, enchantment, creature if you wanted to, equal to mana less than or equal to the damage that you dealt without paying its mana cost. So it's actually really bonkers, especially in like any decks that's, combat focused, trying to get in, deal damage, any way that has like unavoidable damage, like unavoidable creatures that can't be blocked and stuff. There is a lot of ways you can really abuse this. It is very fun. For Commander, for Standard, I don't know if it's going to be up to scratch. Notably, the Cloud Midgar Mercenary that was revealed in the initial reveal summary, reveal stream, can tutor this up because he comes in for 2, and then this can tutor up, and then you can play this on 3. It gives you a nice curve into it. We've got Reno and Rude here, and I have made a deck around this that I'm going to potentially show you guys in a while. It is a bracket 1 deck. It looks very fun. So this is, they have Menace, and then whenever they deal combat damage to a player, they exile the top card of their library. You can sack an artifact or a creature, and then if you do, you may play the exile card this turn, and mana of any type can be spent to cast it. So not a very strong card necessarily. There's a lot of cards that do very similar to this in Commander. A lot of cards that you can potentially do this without needing to sacrifice something, but still, decent. The Menace really helps you be able to get that combat damage in for sure. We've got Saz Katsroy. So he has, when he enters, you may search your library for a bird or basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Whenever you attack, put +1/+1 counter on target creature, then double the number of +1 counters on that creature. A decently strong ability. He can target himself with that, lets you tutor up any birds that you may have. So in a bird deck, I definitely could see this going well. Or it's just a land tutor, I guess. Yeah, I don't think it's too bad, especially the double the counters on something. Unfortunately, he does need to attack for that, but maybe you're buffing him up or something. We've got Summon Anime here. I think this one's rather slow, so it costs 6. For the first 3 turns it's out, you're going to draw a card and lose 1 life. Then on 4, each opponent sacrifices a creature of their choice and loses 3 life. I don't know. I don't think this is great, but maybe someone will explain to me as to why it's actually the most amazing thing in the world. I would rather play a lot of different things to this. Maybe in Standard. No, Standard's really fast at the moment, so I doubt it's going to work there either. We've got Summon Primal Garuda. This deals 4 damage to target tapped creature an opponent controls. And then the second part is another target creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains flying until end of turn. Not too bad for 4, I don't think. I don't think that's awful. In like a Sagas deck, I think it's going to be pretty decent. We've got Summon Knights of Round. This costs 8. I think this one was actually revealed by Brandon Sanderson as well, which is really cool. So for 1, 2, 3, and 4, you're going to create 3 2/2 white knight creature tokens. That's not too bad. And then for 5, other creatures you control get +2/+2 until end of turn. Put an indestructible counter on each of them. See, I actually rather like this. I don't think like a pure white deck you'd be going after it because it is quite expensive. But giving indestructible to a whole bunch of things, great. Creating lots of tokens, great. In a Sagas deck where you can potentially ramp that up as well to get more of those, like to get to 5 quicker, definitely good. We've got Paladin's Arms here. So it's got job select. So when it comes in, you're going to create a 1/1 colorless hero and attach this to it. It's got equipped creature, gets +2/+1, has ward and knight in addition to its other types. I think one of the things that really makes these equipments not as great is their equip costs tend to be higher, I find. Like, I wouldn't think that this needed a equip cost of 4 for it to be, like, you know, normal. Like, I don't know. I think this seems rather weak because the equip cost is 4. Maybe you guys disagree with that as well. We've got Quistis Treep. So when they enter, you can make cast target instant or sorcery card from a graveyard. So any graveyard, doesn't have to be your own, and mana of any type can be spent to cast it. If that spell would be put into the graveyard, exile it instead. I don't think that's too bad. I'm not going to find a huge amount of uses for it. I don't think there's a great amount of decks that I would be potentially using for it. It's kind of like a Snapcaster Mage, but you can steal from anything. Yeah, I don't think it's great, but it's not awful. We've got Nib Helm A Flame. This one's amazing. So this is essentially like a Chandra's Ignition that doesn't deal damage to opponents. But you can also cast it from your hand, and when you from the graveyard. And when you cast it from your graveyard, you're going to cycle your hand, discard your hand, and then draw 4 cards. I think that's pretty good. I think that one's pretty good. Yeah, no comments. It's really good. The art's amazing as well. I love how it's got flashback because of it being a flashback as well. It's really interesting. We've got Sarah Farron. So the first legendary spell you cast each turn costs 2 less. And then at the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 2 or more other legendaries, you may transform her. You don't have to transform her. You may transform her. And when you transform her, she becomes Crystallized Sarah, and she gives legendary creatures you control get +2/+2. That's pretty good. I like that. I think that's good. In a Legendary Matters deck, that's going to go really, really well. We've got Instant Ramen. So there's a couple very interesting things here. First of all, the Ugin from Dragonstorm, which is whenever you cast a colorless thing, exile something. You can now exile your opponent's creatures with Instant Ramen. You can also suplex Instant Ramen. There is lots of really interesting things that you can do this because for some reason they made a card called Instant Ramen. It's just fun. So when it enters, draw a card, and then you can pay 2, sack it to gain 3 life. So it's just a food that lets you draw a card when it comes in, as well as the fact that it's got flash. So you could use that very interestingly. Like, there's a lot of uses for that, I think. We've got Machinist Arsenal. So it's got job select, create that 1/1, attach it to it. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 for each artifact you control, and is an artificer in addition to its other types. That I really like. I think this one is actually pretty decently strong. It could create a huge token, and then if that token dies, you can move it onto a different creature. Yeah, I think that one's good. I really like that one. We've got Suplex and Phantom Train. I put these both on the same same slide for obvious reasons. Suplex, it's yeah. This is just freaking amazing. I love how they use this as like a just to show off the meme from Final Fantasy VI, where you've got the dude who grabs this freaking train and suplexes the train. But because of the bug in the game, he actually flips the train upside down as well. And then when they made I think it was when they made the Pixel remaster, they'd removed it and they'd fixed it. And then people complained so much that they switched it back. So then he did flip the suplex back up. No comments. It's amazing. The Phantom Train as well. I actually like this Phantom Train a lot. I'm going to use this into my Edward Kenway deck. The best part about this is that you can sacrifice any artifact or creature for it. It gets the +1, but it also just becomes an artifact creature. So you can sack a treasure in my Edward deck, sack a treasure, turn it into a creature. It gets bigger. Pretty decent. It can sack at instant speed. It can sack anything except for obviously itself. Yeah, really good. I really like it. Maybe you guys disagree, but I think the Phantom Train's really great. Suplex is just a funny meme card that's really great. If it was instant speed, it would be instantly in so many decks. Cast into the Fire is instant speed that does the exile thing. And it's really good in my opinion, especially against like, you know, the One Ring and stuff like that. Like, that's the best part, is that you can suplex the One Ring and it destroys it, exiles. We've got Vincent Valentine here. A werewolf is really cool. So whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a number of +1/+1 counters onto him, equal to that creature's power. When he attacks, you may transform him, and when you transform him, he gets trample, lifelink, and if he dies, return it to the battlefield tapped. That's a very interesting deck. There are some really cool things you could do with this. I think the best part is that you can also use this in like an Ezio deck as well, like an assassin's based deck. It's really cool. I like it a lot. I think that there's going to be a lot of uses for it. It does have to be an opponent dies, unfortunately, but still not too bad. We've got Kane, Traitorous Dragoon. So they have jump during your turn, it has flying. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player gains control of Kane. If they do, you draw that many cards, create that many tapped treasures, and then lose that much life. This is going to be a very interesting thing if you can goad it, so you can just pass it around for people. Kind of like Alexios deck, except it's, purely in black. You just have to put on something to goad it so it can't hit you, and then it just slowly gets passed around the table and has to go hit people. There's some really cool stuff you could pull off with this. I really like it. I think it's very, very interesting. Interesting that when it deals combat damage to a player, they gain control of it, but it doesn't untap. They just, it's cool. We've got Poison the Waters. Choose one. All creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn. Meh. Target a player, reveals their hand. You may choose an artifact or creature card from it. They discard it. Meh. I think there's better versions of both of these things. I don't think it's great. The art is absolutely bonkers and amazing, though. We've got Triple Tryout. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player exiles the top card of their library until end of turn. You may play the card you exiled and each other card with lesser mana value than it. So like a big red cost deck would go really well with this. There's some really interesting stuff you can pull off with this with Commander, because it's going to be each player. So you plus potentially you could cast 3 other spells for free. It's really cool. We've got Capital City. Tap, add colors, pay 1, tap, add 1 mana of any color. Just a nice kind of filter land. Realm Sketching. So create a token that's a copy of target artifact, creature, or land. Not liking the cost of it and the fact that it doesn't make a non-creature spell, but I think that there is kind of use for this potentially. I think that people could potentially find use for it. It's not the most amazing token create a token copy card, but not awful, I don't think. We've got Auron's Inspiration. Attacking creatures get +2/+0 until end of turn. It doesn't need to be attacking creatures you control, notably. You can use it on someone else's attacking creatures. It does have flashback as well, so you can cast it. So you need to wait until someone declares their attackers and stuff, but then you can buff them up. Not too bad. Galuf's Final Act. Until end of turn, target creature gets +1/+0 and gains. When this creature dies, put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to the power on up to 1 target creature. So if you know a creature is going to die and you want to kind of, make sure you take out something and then transfer its power onto something else, I think this is good. Yeah, I think there's going to be potentially uses for this, especially because it is just until end of turn it gains that. So technically, even after combat, if you were to sacrifice it, say in a Marin of Clan Nal Toth deck or something, you can sacrifice it, put the +1s onto something else, and then potentially have Marin bring back whatever it was at 2. We've got Self-Destruct. Target creature you control deals X damage to another target and X damage to itself, where X is its power. Pretty decent removal if you've got things that have tougher, bigger toughness than power as well. It's going to go well there. Potentially kill off something of your own if you need to remove something. Not too bad. We got Jesh, Reluctant Guardian. So he has Menace. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, you can exile it, then return it to the battlefield transformed under its owner's control. And then it turns into Braska's Final Aeon. Each opponent discards a card and you draw a card. That's the 1 and 2. And then 3 is each opponent sacrifices 2 creatures of their choice. So a little bit slow, but I think it may be good still. Yeah, I personally like it. I think that there's some interesting stuff you could do with this. Yeah, I like it. We got Summon Esper Ramu. So it has Judgment Bolt. This creature deals damage equal to the number of non-creature, non-land cards in your graveyard to target creature and opponent controls, and then wizards you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. So Wizard Tribal works really well with this. I believe that's going to be the Rakdos thing in Limited. So you've got the option there to buff them up and do some, decent burn to a creature as well. Potentially take a creature out. Romance, it's Royal City here. Just a land town that enters tapped, red and white. Nothing noteworthy of it at all. Choco, Seeker of Paradise. So a new bird commander in Bant. A new Bant bird commander is really cool. Whenever one or more birds you control attack, look at that many cards from the top of your library. You can put one of them into your hand. The rest go into the graveyard. However, all lands that were in there will enter the battlefield tapped. And I just said that all in the wrong order, but you know what I mean. And then it's got landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, Choco gets +1/+0 until end of turn. So attack with birds, ramp up a whole bunch, and then also get things into your graveyard that you could potentially bring back later on. We've got Zidane, Tantalus Thief. When he enters, gain control of target creature and opponent controls until end of turn, and then untap it. It gains lifelink and haste until end of turn. When an opponent gains control of a permanent from you, you create a treasure. So you're going to be stealing things, just theft basically, and then when they go back to an opponent, then you're going to create a treasure. You could do some interesting like flicker shenanigans with this. So you flicker, gain control of a whole bunch of things from your opponent, and then get a whole bunch of treasures afterwards. We've got Freya Crescent. During your turn, it has flying, and then tap, add red, spend this mana only to cast an equipment or activate an equip ability. A nice little like red mana dork. Samurai's Katana, job select, and then equipped creature gets +2/+2, has trample and haste, and is a samurai. Equip 5. Again, the equip cost being that high is really dumb, in my opinion. It does have the job select, so it will create something. So it will create a 3/3 with trample and haste for 3. Like, that's not too bad, but once it dies and then you have to equip it to something else, then it may feel bad there. Warrior Sword, job select, equipped creature has +3/+2 and is a warrior in addition to its other types. Like, I would take this over this like 9 times out of 10. Yeah, unless you're in like a warrior deck, I guess. The equip cost is higher. It gives +1 extra power, but it also costs 1 extra. Yeah, no, thank you. Item Shopkeep. Whenever you attack, target attacking equipped creature gets Menace until end of turn. Yeah, not great. 1 equipped creature gets Menace. Yeah, I don't think that's great, at least for like, from a commander point of view. We've got Undercity Dire Rat. When it dies, create a treasure. Yep, that's it. We've got Shinra Reinforcements. When it enters, mill 3 and you gain 3. I don't think that's too bad. People use like, Stitches Supplier and stuff, but Stitches Supplier also is very cheap as opposed to this. And like Stitches Supplier, I'm pretty sure is just 1 cost, right? So, you've got, and you're also milling half of what you would be milling there, while this like mills the, Stitches Supplier is 1. You gain life though instead. I just don't think it's worth it. We've got Sephiroth's Intervention. Destroy target creature. You gain 2. This is worth running just for the meme. Right? Like, this is worth running just for the meme and just to be like, hey, look, my Sephiroth just stabbed you, dude. We've got Shambling Seath. This enters tapped. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may pay black. If you do, return it to your graveyard, from your graveyard to your hand. This I don't think is too bad if you've got like repeatable ways to like discard and you want something just in your hand to discard, preferably, discarding a creature. You've got this there. We've got Evil Reawakened. Pay 5, return target creature from the graveyard to the battlefield with 2 additional +1/+1s on it. Quite slow. It costs 5 to return 1 creature. It does get a bit of a buff, but still. Alabed Salvages. Costs 3. Whenever this creature or another creature or artifact you control dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1. I don't think that's awful. I think that, decks that are built around sacking things can find a lot of use for this. Unfortunately, it's only target opponent instead of each opponent, but still. Summon Leviathan. When it comes in, return each creature that isn't a Kraken, Leviathan, Merfolk, Octopus, or Serpent to its owner's hand. So that's a 6-cost board wipe that then sticks around, and then when it sticks around, until end of turn, on second or third, until end of turn, whenever a Kraken, Leviathan, Merfolk, Octopus, or Serpent attacks, draw a card. I actually really like this one. I think this is cool. Yeah, no notes. I think it's awesome. We've got Sahagin. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, if at least 4 mana was spent to cast on it, put a +1 on this creature, and it can't be blocked this turn. Nice little spell slinger thing that can go into like your, big spell slinger decks to get some combat damage in. I don't think there's going to be a huge amount of uses for it, but not awful in my opinion. Retrieve the Esper, create a 3/3 blue robot warrior artifact creature token. Then if it was cast from the graveyard, put +1/+1, 2/+1 on it. It's got flashback, costs 6. 6 to create one warrior that's a 5/5 is pretty bad unless you have a way to reduce that. Even 4 to create a 3/3 is not too bad, not too great either. I don't think either of those are worth casting, whether it's for its hard cast or its flashback cost. I don't think it's worth it at all. We've got Dreams of Laguna. Surveil 1, then draw a card. And then you can cast it from your graveyard for 4. I feel like there's one that's costs 1, right? There's one that costs just blue to surveil 1, then draw a card. But this has the flashback on top of it. Don't know if the flashback's worth it for you, maybe. We've got Mughals Valor. For each creature you control, create a 1/2 white Mughal creature token with lifelink. Then creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. So potentially doubles your board. Sorry, it does double your board in the amount of creatures that you've got, as well as gives indestructible to them. I don't think that's awful. Right? I don't think that's awful. If you have a look at what was the one that just got reprinted? Grand Crescendo. So Grand Crescendo costs X and 2 whites to create X 1/1 green and white citizens, and then creatures gain indestructible. So in circumstances, this is definitely going to potentially be better especially because they have lifelink as well. This is also instant. And you could potentially create a lot of things with this, right? If you've got a big board and then you do this, boom, it just essentially doubles your board. We've got Fate of Sunchrist. It costs 2 less to cast. If it targets a tapped creature, destroy target non-land permanent. Interesting that it's destroy target non-land permanent, but if it's a tapped creature, then it's less. So you can destroy anything, but tapped creature costs, it's not great, don't get me wrong. I think that you could potentially find uses for it if you didn't have some of the better removals, Stroke of Midnight or something. Coral, a cat beast that's got pay 1 and a white, tap it to tap target non-enchantment creature. Yeah, that's not great. Cloudbound Mughal, cost 5, flying. When this creature enters, put a +1 on target creature. It's got plane cycling though, which is more likely what you're going to use it for. Pay 2, discard it, search your library for a planes. It can be any planes. It can even be a Jetmir's Garden that's just got the planes subtype and stuff. Paying 2 to have to do that is not great, but still it could be very useful if you needed it. I don't think many people are going to play this, but I think that in budget decks it could find use for sure. Magitech Scythe. When this enters, you may attach it to target creature you control. If you do, that creature gains first strike until end of turn and must be blocked this turn if able. Equipped creature gets +2/+1. Equip 2. I don't think this one's bad. Being able to get that potential removal here is not awful. I don't think it's great, but the fact it auto equips when it enters, I think makes it a lot better. Yeah, I don't think it's great, but I don't think it's trash. We've got Zand Dark Mage, Menace. When it enters, when it gets +1/+1 for each non-creature, non-land card in your graveyard. So just fill your graveyard with a whole bunch of instant sorceries, enchantments technically and stuff. And then it gets +1/+1 for them. Yeah, not great, but not too bad. See more flux. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may pay 1 life. If you do, draw a card, then put +1/+1 onto it. So interesting that you may pay 1 life. You don't have to. And it slowly gets bigger, and as well as you drawing a card. So like Phyrexian Arena does half of this to pay the 1 and then draw a card, but this has got a body attached to it. Plus it slowly gets stronger as well. We've got Deadly Embrace. Destroy target creature and opponent controls, then draw a card for each creature that died this turn. I don't know. Like, I don't think this is good, but I could see there potentially being some like niche uses for it if you used it after, I guess if you're sacrificing things, right? If you're sacrificing things, so your stuff is dying, then you play this, destroy an opponent's thing, and then draw a whole bunch of cards. Yeah, that's not too bad. Not great, don't get me wrong. We've got Ultimia, temporal threat. So when she enters, tap all creatures opponents control. Then whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Expensive to do it, but also not too bad. I am surprised she does not have flying, given those huge freaking wing looking things there, but yeah. Ultima weapon. I don't know. I don't like this one. I don't like this one at all. Cost 7. Equipped creature gets +7/+7. Equip 7. The equip 7 just instantly makes it not great at all, in my opinion. When it attacks, destroy target creature and opponent controls. Like, that mechanic is pretty good, but the equip 7 and the 7 cost to even get it out is, yeah, I don't know. I assume there's going to be some commanders that can cheat it out really well, and then it's going to be good, but yeah, most things aren't. Judgment Bolt, it deals 5 damage to target creature and X damage to that creature's controller, where X is the number of equipment you control. I guess it's removal plus some burn. If you've got heaps of equipment, maybe, but beyond that, not very great. Lightning Security Sergeant, she has Menace, and then when she deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card for as long as you control Lightning. Yeah, that's not too bad. You're just going to exile the top card of your library, and then you may play it for as long as you... Yeah, I guess, because you don't need to play it instantly or anything, so you can save it for a little bit, as long as you can, you know, protect your Lightning and stuff to keep her out. We've got Rosa Resolute White Mage. She has Reach. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 on target creature you control. It gains lifelink until end of turn. Permanent lifelink onto one creature that slowly gets bigger. She has Reach as well, which is good. I think overall, I like this. I like her. I think she's good, potentially. I think she's good, like, because she does stuff this turn she comes out, because she can put it onto any creature. I think that's pretty decent. Maybe that's just me, though. We've got Beatrix, Loyal General. So she has Vigilance. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may attach any number of equipments you control to a target creature you control. Yeah, I like that. Being able to just move your equipments at the beginning of combat, potentially, you know, catch something off guard or just buff up one huge thing. You do need to equip them onto one target creature, so you can't just, you know, shuffle them all around, but still not awful. We've got Ultima, Origin of Oblivion. This one's absolutely bonkers. So it has flying. Whenever it attacks, put a blight counter on target land. For as long as that land has a blight counter on it. It loses all land types and abilities and has tap, add colorless. When you tap a land for colorless, add an additional colorless mana. Oh boy. So Eldrazi decks are going to abuse the heck out of this, I think. Just being able to get huge amount, like the colorless Eldrazi decks, get a huge amount of mana really, really easily. It's like a Cryptghast. Just, yeah, I think this is great, right? Am I crazy? It's also whenever you tap it for colors, add an additional one. So even if you tap it for, like, you know, 2 colors, you still they're going to create 3 colors, right? Like, yeah, I think that's good, as well as land hate. Land hate is great. So having that in the command zone is really great. I don't know, maybe I'll build a deck around this. I haven't got a colorless commander. So like build this and then have it like artifacts or something maybe. I don't know. We've got Namazu Trader. When it enters, you lose 1 life and create a treasure. When there's a creature attacks, you may sacrifice another creature or artifact. If you do, Surveil 2. Not great, but not awful, as well as the fact that I absolutely love the art for it. We got the Prima Vista, legendary artifact vehicle, flying. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, if at least 4 mana was spent to cast it, it becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. See, I'm tossing up because this could potentially be good in my Edward Kenway deck, but I don't know entirely. Like, I'd have to check if how often am I casting non-creature, like my vehicles for that are 4 or mana greater. Got Laughing Mad as an additional cost to this, discard a card, draw 2 cards. Yeah, like, you know, normal. Discard a card, draw 2. But this one's got flashback attached to it as well, so that may make it better. I don't know. Additional flashback's not too bad. We've got Barrett Wallace, Reach. Whenever he attacks, it deals damage equal to the number of equipped creatures you control to defending player. So if you've got a heap of equipped creatures out and go in and attack with him, deal a bunch of damage. Like, you know, this is at least probably 2 damage because you probably have like your commander out plus him. It could get up to, you know, 5, 6 damage. Most of the time, you're not going to have a huge amount of creatures that are equipped, but yeah, you could do some really cool stuff with him. But he's not great. Like, he's not great. He's not too bad. Circle of Power. You draw 2 cards, you lose 2 life, create a 0/1 black wizard creature token with whenever you cast a non-creature spell, deals 1 damage to each opponent. Wizards you control get +1/+0 and have gain lifelink until end of turn. I like this one. In a wizard tribal deck. I think this is good. We've got Sage's No Lifts. Job select. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has, whenever it attacks, untap target attacking creature. Notably can target itself to untap, and is a cleric in addition to its other types. This one here only has equipped 3 as well, which is good. It's only costing 2, which is good. I don't think this one's awful. Yeah, I don't think this one's awful, but I don't think it's good, but I don't think it's bad, depending on what deck you're running it in. Astrologicans Planisphere. So this has this one only has equipped 2, which is good. Equipped creature is a wizard in addition to its other types. Has, whenever you cast a non-creature spell and whenever you draw your 3rd card each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. See, this I think is good, right? Because now it's you've drawn 3 cards, put a +1 onto it. You cast a non-creature, put a +1 onto it. So depending on your deck, like a Spellslinger-based combat deck, this is good. We've got Phoenix Down. Pay white to cast it. 1 and a white, tap it, exile it. Choose target. Choose 1. You can return a creature from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped, or you can exile target skeleton, spirit, and zombie. Very, very flavorful. But I don't know if it's like worth it because of the fact that it's got that exile clause on it. So you're paying 3 to return something. Yeah, I don't know. I think that there's better reanimation stuff. Unless you can like copy this. Like if you can create token copies of this to be able to do it with, then it instantly becomes a whole lot better. We've got Zach Fair. He enters with a +1/+1 counter on him. You can pay 1, sacrifice him to give target creature you control indestructible until end of turn. You'll also then put the counters that were on him onto it, and then attach an equipment that was attached to him to that creature. Yeah, I think this one's pretty good, right? Like, pay 1, sack him at instant speed. You can give something indestructible and then move an equipment over onto him. In equipment-based decks, definitely going to find use, I think. Yeah, nice, like little, just give something protection. Yeah. We got White Aura Sight. When it enters, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until this artifact leaves the battlefield. However, this time around, it is a mana rock that is doing it. So you can tap this for white. I think that's good, right? Like you can tap it for white. It's got the exile thing on it. It's an artifact, so it's harder to remove than any of the creatures that do it. Not awful. You can't really use it for flickering because it needs to be something an opponent controls, but still, I think it's not too bad. We've got Valkyrie aerial unit, has affinity for artifacts flying when it enters Surveil 2. The affinity for artifacts instantly makes this a whole lot better in like a lot of decks, a lot of artifact based decks, because you could get this out for potentially just 2 blue later. I don't think that's unreasonable to expect people to cast it for just 2 blue once you've got a whole bunch of artifacts kind of going. When it enters Surveil 2, Surveil's really decent depending on the deck too. We got Mataya Archon Elder. Whenever you Surveil or Scry, draw a card. Yeah. I think that's good. Right. I think that's decent. Just whenever you Surveil, you're going to look at the top one, either put it into the graveyard or into the graveyard. Put it into the graveyard or back on top, and then you get to draw a card afterwards. Ishgard the Holy Sea it's a land that enters tapped, or you can use it to return up to 2 artifacts or enchantment cards from your graveyard to your hand for 5. 5 seems rather expensive to do that. There's a lot of things that can do all artifacts and enchantments and then onto the battlefield. However, I guess the addition for this is that you do get to have a land from it if you needed a land for it. Maybe find use. I'm not sure. Esper Origins. So it's a 2-cost sorcery that has Surveil 2. You gain 2 life. If you cast it from your graveyard, however, you then exile it, then put it onto the battlefield, transform under its owner's control with finality counter on it. On the other side, it's got reveal the top card of your library. If it's a permanent, put it into your hand, then add 2 green. Then other creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain trample until end of turn. And that is it. I hope you guys had a wonderful day. Let me know what you guys think. There is a lot of really great cards in here. Let me know what your favorites are. Have a great day and goodbye.